web, it's Homework Hotline. Go to homeworkhotline.tv to ask your math or science questions.
Hi, my name is Dan Scofield. I teach science at St. Bernard's Academy, and welcome to Homework Hotline.
And my name is Reada McConnaughy. I'm a math specialist with Northern-United Humboldt Charter School. And yes, you're watching Homework Hotline. Welcome. We don't have a number to share because
we aren't doing phone calls anymore.
No.
We've reached the modern age where you actually can tune in at homeworkhotline.tv, and then you can ask your questions during the live stream.
Woohoo!
Crazy.
Very exciting.
So yeah, tune in that way. Ask your questions through the live stream, and we will get them relayed to us, and we will attempt to answer them. So math and science questions. You're over there struggling with something, or maybe you just had a question about something. Give us. I also say give us a call. But this is the 15th season of Homework Hotline.
Awesome.
First show of the 15th season, and so we are now entering the 21st century, where you internet broadcasting,
live streaming. So homeworkhotline.tv. In the meantime, while we're waiting for questions, we'll do science experiments.
Okay, I got a mystery to solve today. A science-related mystery, and apparently there's something special about today's date.
Yes, if you know what a palindrome is, there are, usually you'd hear about it maybe in English class. A cool palindrome is this word. Wow. So palindrome spelled the same forward as you would go backward. Okay. So wow. Another palindrome, can you think of one?
Oh, on the spot.
Dan?
Pop.
Pop, yep. So 3-letter word, pop.
Pretty easy one.
My students earlier today said race car is a palindrome.
Yes, that's pretty good.
Taco cats.
Taco cats.
Okay, and there's also a movie, Holes. Have you ever seen that? Taco cat, I guess. Holes also has a palindrome on it. Stanley. Something. Yellnuts, yes. Okay,
Stanley
but
Yellnuts is a palindrome.
the cool thing about the palindrome is it's also in numbers, and so today's date, 10, excuse me, 9, 10, 19 is also a palindrome. And then tomorrow is a palindrome. Same forwards as if we would go backwards. Let me fix that one. And it goes all the way up to the 19th of September.
9/19 would be a palindrome. All right, so this is palindrome week.
Palindrome week all the way up to 9/19/19.
So more than a week, 10 days.
Yep.
10 days of palindrome. So
you maybe heard it. People still say it's the week, but it's more than 7 days. But
right. So you get your fill. So you can impress. I'm sure your friends will be impressed.
Yes.
And your teachers will be impressed if you pointed that out to them.
And I'm planning to have palindromes all week, the rest of the week. Like, can you think of another palindrome that you can put up here?
That sounds great.
So, okay. Anyways, that's something
While
fun.
we're waiting for questions on the live stream, somebody asked about, we'll get to this, is there still a brain teaser? We will have a brain teaser. But we don't have, we'll talk about the brain teaser in a little bit. But yes, we do have a brain teaser.
Okay.
Somebody on the live stream asked that. So I can actually I got something on the live stream that I responded to.
Yay, where did you get it?
I've got it sitting right next to me. So maybe occasionally I'll take a look at it and see if there's a question for you to look at it.
Okay.
So I have a mystery for today.
All right.
And so the mystery is that I've found some notes in my classroom, right? And they're sitting at this table next to 4 people.
Okay.
And so, but they've been writing these notes there, and so I want to figure out who's doing it. So what I did is I confiscated their pens. And they're in black, so they're all black pens. Here they are right here. There's these black pens. And somebody's writing notes,
Okay.
and I want to figure out whose it is.
So
okay?
Crayola.
Yeah, then I put the names on it right here.
Washable.
I'm saving their real names too.
Okay.
So I just put their initials. It's JP, RJ, JR, and PJ are right. One of those guys is writing a note. And so I want to see who it is. And so what they did is they wrote it on here.
Okay.
And so I'm going to be, and what's great about it, I know, I can check it out here with this. I'm going to cut this out. It's on this paper.
Okay.
And I'm going to run it. I'm going to run some water up through it and see what happens. So I'm going to put it in a cup. Let's see if I can do this right.
And that's going to tell you which pen was used?
It can, if I'm lucky. It'll tell me which pen it is.
Okay.
Or if it's enough, it could tell me which one it's not. And since I know it's one of those pens, I'm going to be able to figure it out.
So big difference. One is washable, one's permanent.
Well, yeah, let's see if it works.
Okay.
So that's a good point. So I'm going to go and see what this one is. I'll make sure it's the right level. So when I make this thing, and you can try this at home and it's got to be able to go up through it, and you can use your filter paper from your coffee filter paper will work. And I'm just going to, I took the word did because that was one of the things that they wrote. And I'm just going to make sure the bottom is tipped in it and it doesn't go all the way into it, the water. And so I'm going to have to let the water run up through it. And this is called chromatography. And what you'll see here pretty soon is that you'll see it start running up through the ink, and then you'll see some things as the water goes up through the paper. And it's great. This is the water. This is the property of water too. The water goes up through paper because it has something called cohesion, and so it's being pulled up. Its adhesion is adhering to all the fibers in the paper, and it goes up, and it's pulling itself up as well.
I noticed something's happening already.
So even though the pen is black, you can see that it's actually made out of more than one color, and you can see some blue in there and some purple in there and things like that. Anyway,
you
so
said adhesion?
Yeah, adhesion gets water to stick to other things, and cohesion means that water sticks to itself. And so as it's going up through there, you can see that the ink is actually composed of lots of different inks. And as it goes up through there, some of these colors will go up faster than other colors. So the mixture of colors will be spread out. And it's maybe because some of the molecules are bigger, or maybe because some of them are more soluble in water. Soluble means it dissolves in water, and so it will.
I am amazed.
So they'll go up faster or slower through the paper, and it spreads out into a pattern. So if I find one of these pens matches that pattern, then I'll know who my culprit is.
Awesome.
So the way to do that is to I'm going to take four more papers.
Okay.
And
are you going to write a word on each one?
I'm just going to draw a line, but I just have to make sure that I get mine. I remember which is which.
Okay.
And so what I'm going to do is make sure that I go like this, and then if you could just tape the thing to the pen that it's coming from.
Okay.
And then so we'll go like this. So this is JR's, so we'll tape it to that one.
Okay. And we're going to draw a line with this.
Oh, you got to draw a line up with
Okay.
that too. So we're going to draw a line with this, and so this is
just like
RJ's, and just a line right across. Just make sure it's up above the bottom of the paper. Just
so
a nice
horizontal
line.
Okay.
And then tape it to that. And then we'll do this one to this. And then we'll do PJ's to this. And we'll just draw the line. And then now,
can I borrow the tape?
actually, yes. Well, I dropped the pen. I'm usually trying to drop it. Okay, great. And then tape it. Go ahead and tape it under there.
I'll do that.
And then we'll get the cups out. So what we want to do is make sure that we'll see if we have one that matches, or maybe, maybe none of them will match. Who knows?
Then you really have a mystery.
Then I really have a mystery. You're
You
right.
have to persevere.
But
and
look at how
working.
this one is. I mean, I don't know if we see that one, but look how much the did is really spreading out now. And so I just want to kind of set this up first. So
Okay.
and then let's make sure it goes in the middle so it's not touching the sides as much as we can.
Okay.
And then when we do that, let's
Not touching the side. I
try
have
not to
fix
touch the
this one.
sides.
Okay.
We can, a little bit's okay, but it just can't go and do too much. And I got to make sure, the big thing is I want to make sure that the ink line is not actually in the water.
Okay.
And then there we go. I think that's about right for that one. Once you put it there.
I think a
little
little
bit
bit
more?
more water.
A little more water on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's going to work. And then this one goes here. And then so now we can let this run.
And the water is adhesing to the paper?
It's adhering to the paper.
Adhering.
And it's pulling up other water behind it by cohesion. And so it's going to run up through, and it's going to pass those lines up. And then we'll see what kind of patterns we get in a little bit. So, but in the meantime, I'm going to check our stream.
Okay.
And, okay, so we don't have anything on the live stream yet.
Okay.
But we can watch this a little bit as we goes up and see if there's a match to anything. One of the other things I wanted to say about this is that this method is a way to separate out pigments in other things as well. And so right now it's September 10th.
Okay.
And I've already noticed that some of the trees are starting to change color.
Because it's the fall.
Right, fall
soon.
change. It's getting a little bit cooler. But some of the trees, and we can go and we can talk about that in a little bit. But
sounds good.
Somebody was asking about the brain teaser on the live stream.
Okay.
And we do still have the brain teaser, and so you can answer it on the live stream. We're not taking calls for it.
Homeworkhotline.tv.
And we'll tell you if you are correct or not.
Okay.
But the brain teaser for today is, what is the green pigment that plants use to capture solar energy? And so if you have the answer to that, just you can write it down on homeworkhotline.tv, and we'll tell you if you're right or not. At this moment, we don't have identification or anything like that, but we can tell you if you're right, and you can brag to your friends, hey, I got it right on Homework Hotline.
Well,
so
pigment.
Pigment.
A-N-T?
It's M-E-N-T.
M-E-N.
You got it right. Pigment.
Okay.
Okay. So what is that green pigment? And so we notice that green pigment goes away, right? Mm-hmm. Or something replaces it. Maybe it changes another color. Maybe it just goes away and gets replaced by another color, or something else. What happens? So the question is that pigment already in the leaves, color? And so we can actually use chromatography to figure that out.
Okay.
And so I brought some other cups. But the thing about leaves is that they don't, the pigments don't travel through water that well. And if you notice right here, you notice this one, I think it's
the permanent marker.
Yeah.
Sharpie.
RJ's Sharpie, the water's all the way up, and the water isn't pulling the pigments through.
If we look closely.
So it's pretty clear right now that is not my culprit. Right?
So we can take RJ out because it does not match the did.
So maybe we'll take a closer look at the other ones too. But but the pigments in leaves are like that in the same way as water doesn't. You could use water on leaf pigments a little bit. You could get a little bit of separation with them, but I'm going to use rubbing alcohol, which is the stuff that's at doctor's office. You can get it from the drugstore and use that. But you can what we can do with this is, like, if I want to get, there's a couple different ways to do leaf pigments. One of them is to if I take my leaf, which is I know these are going to change colors because this is a maple leaf.
Oh, and those really turn pretty colors.
And we know that they change colors. And so and one way to do it is just to take your maple leaf and then take a coin, and a nickel works nicely. And I've got it right here. There we go. And I'm going to just take my nickel and draw a line with it, just right about a little bit above the paper. And again, I just used coffee filters and cut them into strips. You can go and get chromatography paper. It's a little bit finer, but this works fine. And I'm just going to rub on it with the nickel. Is it putting the green onto the filter then? It's going to should put a green line on the filter.
So that's really cool.
And this is kind of an easy way to do it. I'm going to show another way to do this in a little bit, but here is this green pigment.
Are we going to tape that paper to the leaf?
I'm going to tape the paper to the cup.
Okay.
And then what I'm going to do is also take the leaf and put it on the cup as well, so we can kind of see what it came from.
Okay.
So
if you hand me the cup, I'll.
So here we go, and then and then we just can put that on there. And then
on the inside?
Yeah, and we'll put it on a pencil.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Getting things together here on our first show. And so that's this leaf, and we can just kind of put the leaf next to the cup just to show that's where it came from. But instead of using water this time, I'm going to...
Is that too high?
Let's lower it a little bit so I don't have to put quite as much in.
Okay.
That's good, though. Yeah, that means that they don't have to use all the alcohol.
All right. And
so this is this it's isopropyl alcohol, also called rubbing alcohol. And we can use this. This is definitely something I don't want to drink because it's poisonous, but it's usually, you find this helps you, you might get this put on a cut or something like that to help prevent infection, and it hurts when you do that. So there's that one, and so I'll do another one too. I know that was that particular leaf, and then this leaf right here is another one.
You said maple?
This is another kind of maple, yes.
Okay, another
I just have all maples. It's, I just wanted to make sure we get, but they're different colored maples that I remember from seasons past that are out there that have different colors. And I remember that this one in particular has some really interesting colors that show. So again, all I'm doing with this is I'm taking my nickel and I'm rubbing it and getting a nice line on there. And that's pretty good. I just want to get some pigment on there so when it can take it through. Now, this doesn't get a whole bunch of pigment on it, but it gets some. And I'll show another way to do this where you get a bunch of pigment.
Okay.
This is this one. And then the last one I have is this kind of thicker one. Wait a minute, no, that's not it.
Have you done this before?
Oh yeah,
with your class?
My class does it when we start studying photosynthesis.
Okay. Excuse my reach.
And then, so this one right here, this should show a different kind of pattern because it's a different kind of maple.
Okay.
Or maybe it'll be similar, I don't know, but.
Can I ask a question about the rubbing alcohol?
Sure.
Why is it called isopropyl?
It's because of the way the chemicals are bond. So propylene has 3 carbons, and or propane, 3 carbons, and then isopropyl means it has an extra group in the middle.
A little random question.
Yeah, it's a organic chemistry question.
Okay.
And then so here's one more.
All right, thank you.
All right, so have we seen any movement on our? Okay, there's a little bit of movement on the one over here. It looks like
the first,
not quite on the second one, but
go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, so all right, I do have a question from the live stream.
Okay.
And I think this is from Ben. And it says, "Hi, I have a question about using Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium to calculate the individual homozygous, and got the answer as 114.8 individuals. Is that homozygous dominant? So do I have to round it up?"
I think that's your question.
I think that's a question for me, but I'm not exactly knowing what. Hey, Ben, can you clarify that? I'm wondering what was the original problem that we can kind of work through it. But definitely you want to round up. If it's talking about individuals, it's hard to have 0.8 individuals, so you would round up to 115 if that answers your question.
Round up or round down?
Rounding it to, if it's 0.5, like a normal math problem, if you're at 0.5 or above, you round it to the next one up.
I see.
And then that's what we would do. So yeah, to answer your question, if you found out that the question is asking for how many individuals you have in the Hardy-Weinberg thing, then you would round it to a whole number, because otherwise it doesn't make sense that we'd have 16.5 cows. So that doesn't really mean anything. Well, it does mean something, but it's not really good for the cow.
No.
All right, and so another person asked, why do you use pigment to take the color from the leaf? Well, the pigment is actually in the leaf. The pigment is what makes the leaves have color. So we're taking the pigment off of there, and we want to see how it spreads out. And I can see a little bit of spreading out of the colors in the leaves, but I want to do something here that will show a lot of spread of the colors, and that's to take this leaf. I'm just going to mash it up a little bit, and I'm going to put it into, you use what this is called a mortar and a pestle. And
some people use these in their kitchen too,
they
right?
do, to grind up things. And so I'm going to
spices.
just grind spices and whatever they want in their kitchen. And I'm just going to put some leaf material into here. And
then grind it up.
And put some isopropyl alcohol in it too.
While you're grinding, can I look at the markers?
Yes.
Will that be okay?
Sure.
So we already ruled out the permanent marker because that did not run at all. Is that what you would say?
Well, it looks like it didn't. The water did not go up the thing because it was not soluble in water.
And then this Crayola, if we zoom in, we should be able to see that it turned blue on top.
Yes.
So
that doesn't really. We can go and compare it.
And this one is not matching it either. But look at these two.
Yeah, I think we have a suspect here.
Yep. Who wrote the note? J.R.
J.R. wrote the note, so I'll have to talk to J.R. I'm not writing notes in class because we really don't want to have that.
Writing notes and getting caught.
Yes,
No.
by science. Getting caught by science.
Yes.
By science. So
yes,
you should have known better.
It.
All right. So this is what you can do if you want to get a lot more pigment. And I'm going to take the isopropyl, please.
Okay,
and then
sure.
I'm going to mix some of this in there. And now this time.
Do you want me to peek at the questions?
Yeah, let's take a look at the question. Go ahead.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to mash this up with my mortar and pestle, and I'm just going to grind it as much as I can so I get a nice mixture of the pigment in there. It's going to take a second.
Someone mentioned the new board. Yes, we are excited about the new board.
Is it a math person that was interested?
I'm not sure.
I mean, it is.
But we are really excited.
This is a math thing to be excited about. It's a new board.
Yes.
I like the board too. I can't wait. I want to answer physics questions from it. I'm waiting for a physics question to answer on the math board, on the board too. There's lots of great math questions you have on that. So now, as I've been grinding this stuff away, I know on the television.
And the questions are student of any age up to college?
Yes.
Right? Yep. So someone asked about that.
I'm going to put some of that in there just for the fun of it as well. So now I've got quite a bit of green pigment in here now. And so I'm going to just use I don't need to use, I can just use a piece of tape. That's great. And then we're just going to use this instead.
And tape it to the cup?
And I can tape it to a pencil.
Let's look at our brain teaser real quick because I don't see any answers on here unless I missed it. I'm really sorry if I missed it. Question was, what is the green pigment that plants use to capture solar energy? And the answer is chlorophyll.
Yeah. Chlorophyll's the answer. So
all right.
Plants have lots of pigments in there, and actually lots of pigments, and some of them also capture solar energy that's not chlorophyll. And there's actually different kinds of chlorophyll in plants. But the one that they're using is the green pigment is chlorophyll, and you can kind of see that in some of these. And now,
can I ask a question
Sure.
from our one of our viewers? Why do you need rubbing alcohol to change the color of the pigment from the leaf on the paper?
Okay, so the reason why I'm using rubbing alcohol for the plants, and these ones, is because if I use water, we wouldn't see any kind of spread at all. There would see no like we've seen on the pens, how the colors all spread out. We wouldn't see that on the plants because the pigments are not very soluble in water, but they are a little more soluble in rubbing alcohol. Even better, acetone even works better for plant pigments, but it's just a little nasty to use, so I don't really want to use it. But if we look at this leaf, we can see the color. We see some yellow in it. I don't know if we have a close-up of that.
Does that mean when it dries out, it'll turn yellow?
The paper, right? The paper,
the leaf.
Yeah, when the leaf now, and so the yellow is already there, right? So this leaf will turn. We know it's going to turn some yellow, or could turn yellow, because yellow is already in the leaf before the fall colors come. And this one has, let's see some colors in this one. I see some yellow and green and things like that in there. And this one also has some yellows.
So when the green pigment goes away, the chlorophyll, then the yellow or the red, which we're going to see come out, is left behind?
That's right. And so it's still there, and so just the green goes away, and the stuff that's left behind is what we see in the leaves.
I love it. So. Well, we have Homework Hotline next week, Tuesday and Thursday, and this was really fun. Thank you.
Great. So, yeah, again, go out there. You can make this stuff pretty easily, and you can just with coffee filters and go check out those pens.
All right.
All right. Bye from us.
Bye, guys.